Hey folks, and welcome to the Pipnotic Symposium for the 5th of February 2021. Today we're going to have a look at the pound Japanese yen. So let's have a macro look on the weekly, actually on the monthly. See what we have going on. Well, we can see very clearly here that we have this nice spot here, right here, and I'm marking off the low here because this is where, right there, this is where the candle left from. You see this candle here, we had accumulation. This is a monthly accumulation that's standalone. This is the one that closed above the high of this candle. This is where the slingshot was pulled back to. This is our reference point for the future. Tested once, twice, three times, and now price left. So when this happened, you can assume that there are significant flows moving into the pound from the Japanese yen. Okay, so we take this information downwards to the smaller time frame. So now we have a directional bias based on monthly demand, which looks like that. Then you can see here that we have other things happening. Okay, so first of all, let's divide the chart up into our two halves. Color on the red, this is the sell side, here's the high, here's the low. The buy side, from the low to the high. Okay, so looking at this on the weekly chart, what are we allowed to do? Are we allowed to buy, or are we allowed to sell, staying in line with the weekly and the monthly flows? Well, according to this, we're only allowed to buy. And here we're allowed to sell. Okay, so that means that you're buying at demand that's located in here. There's none here. We have demand in around here, probably on the smaller time frames. We're allowed to sell as supply on this side. Okay, so now ask yourself the question, where do we have a similar thing going on, but on the smaller time frame? So we have that occurring here, where we had the buy side, which is from here to here. We have the sell side from here to here. See, in price already retraced almost all the way back. And when that happens, you can consider the move already rebalanced. And so in that case, we'll remove it and we'll have to look for another one. So here we have the sell side on this move, the origin of this move down to here, and the buy side is from here to here. Okay, and so selling at supply over here, buying at demand over here. And if you look at this, you can see pretty clearly what's going on. We have, let me change the color to white. We have high lows. Okay, so this is telling us that we have the flows moving into this pair in anticipation that we're going to move higher. So we have a directional bias, have a directional bias on the monthly, on the weekly, and on these two time frames. Okay, so now we want to look for areas to buy here or sell over here. So if I remove that, so you want to look for the similar thing going on. Okay, so we're going to go down to the daily chart. We're going to do the same thing once again. The buy side is from here to here. The sell side is the other side, from here down to here. Okay, so now you ask yourself, well, where do we buy and where do we sell? Well, that we can see by finding buy and sell zones. So where do we have from this high here to this low here, where do we have buy and sell zones? Where can we see the origins of strong moves? So we can see we have a strong one here. This is a pullback. It's actually a little bit further north, maybe about like that. So we have that there, and the area of supply, which is at the origin of this move, is above that. If we mark that off, we have the area just here. So we have supply here. Okay, a little bit difficult to see, but you can see we have the red box here. The beginning of the sell zone is just here, so price is getting close, not quite ready to sell, but you can see that we're getting close to a sell zone for this area of supply just here. Okay, and for buying, I mean, where do we have price sensitive areas that were tested and then consumed? We have this one here. Okay, this is gone. The area that did it, something down here. Okay, price came close. Beginning of the buy zone was here. Price went a little bit deeper the next time, which is pretty much the area of this area of daily demand. We poked into it, we left. As a matter of fact, we gapped up here, which is telling us that we have an interest in higher bids. And price had another pullback, and then we left. Okay, so this one is currently in play. So this is a price sensitive area in the future. Should price come back down to this area in the future, we can expect price to bounce. Why? Because last time price was here, we managed to move above these highs from here. Okay, so that's an important area for the future, should price get back there. So keeping all this in mind, I'm just going to use my tools. We got the supply here. We have sell zone here. Getting close. We're poking into this little tiny micro supply here. So you could do the same analysis. We have the high, the low, so the sell side and the buy side. This is the absolute top, but because this is nested within a daily buy side, sell side, I would wait for price to go higher, wait for price to go beyond that. It doesn't mean that it's not going to turn here. It just means that if price does come up here, there's a high likelihood that price is going to pull back more significantly. Okay, so we have that there from this area here. Let's have a look on the smaller time frames and see if we can do the same thing again. You can see it's difficult here because there's no major turning points. We'll probably have to zoom out a little. And this one has already been breached. It's gone. So we'll do this. And here you can see, that's a little bit difficult to see, isn't it, when we do that? So we're going to go like this. So I have to move all the way over here. This is where price currently is. Oh, look at that. This is exactly where you would want to sell right here. This is just a very nice pattern right there. So this is where I would be keen to sell. I'll put my stop a little bit higher like that. Okay, at the beginning of sell zone here, this is where price will likely turn, for at least for a shorter period of time. And in the meantime, price is wriggling higher. Okay, so if we look for areas that have areas of demand, let's see if we can find some. So we have this area here of supply. It was tested. Price came down. Price came down. The only area where price managed to hold above this area is here, this candle here, kind of proper strong throughput. And that brings our attention to this here. Okay, software found it nicely for us. The beginning of the buy zone is here for this area of demand at 138.83. So this could be an interesting area for us. Below that we have this area here. Okay, sorry, just interrupted there by a telephone call I had to take. Let's see, where was I? So, I mean, if we have a look at this 4-hour area of supply, which has been tested a few times, I mean, that's now gone, as you can see, but the area that removed it is this one here. So we have something in here. This is probably a prettier level on a bigger time frame. Let's have a look. Looks like on the daily. Pretty and pretty, but it's this one here. You can see if we move it like that, we put it like that, then we go back down, we can adjust it here. It doesn't look so bad, does it? Probably move it like that, so a little bit pretty. So we've got that one there, that one there. Oh, it was this one here, excuse me. Go back to the daily. If you have a look on the daily, I mean, that's a pretty attractive area. We have all of these are all linked together, so it would look like that. Something like that. On the 4-hour, one last gander. It looks like this. Okay, so we have something that looks like that. We have supply, it's tested, price went up, we pulled the slingshot back and we raced north. So there's probably a price sensitive area here. But due to the fact that it's just at the edge, I would expect price to go through this child and into the parent. And this is a pretty, I would call this like a complex, because there's a lot going on there. And so if you get onto the smaller time frames, you could probably find something that's a little more attractive. And then we have like a buy zone here for this area down here. So there's a lot going on in there. It's a bit of a complex area. Price has not been back to this area, so this could be a very interesting area just here. I'm just going to put an alarm there. Okay, and then we have this one here. Price comes back to here. I want to put an alarm on. But for the time being, I'd say let's see how close. Yeah, this is closer. Excuse me, got the hiccups. This is closer to price than this, and so I'd expect price to come up here before it comes back down to here. But now, if price does come up here, and this is a pretty beautiful area, just judging by the way it looks. Okay, so price will come up here, and then now we know where our target would be. Our target would be at the buy zone, which is just down here. So we have a look on the 4-hour chart and double check if there's anything else. There's no supply here, so there's no supply at all here. And if there's no supply, then there's no supply for demand to take out, so there's no demand that's been qualified. All we have is support and resistance, so price levels being respected, and so price could, once this area here has been tested, could easily fall down to this area here. Once this is rebalanced, price will have to find supply that is responsible for consuming the areas of demand that are formed on the way price's way down from this area of supply. And once that happens, then price could easily wriggle lower. I'm not having a look at what's going on the fundamentals. This is just a pure buy and sell zone analysis of the pair. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. If you have any questions, let me know. If this is not clear, let me know and I will have another go. Thanks for watching.